Welcome to Business Upfront, where we talk with entrepreneurs and innovators about the methods and mindsets that goes into running their business. I'm Doug Vi. Let's dive the heck right in, shall we? Today I have Austin Burt and Jorge. You got to help me, Jorge. Arroyo, thank you. And Jack Cooper on the program, who traveled all the way from College Station, where they're about to graduate from A&M. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So, who are these guys, and why are they on a show about business and entrepreneurs, you might ask? Well, they are the brains behind, drumroll please, the SanitaryPull. What is that? It is the hands-free door opener that you use with your foot. Right, guys?
That's
yes,
right.
Sir.
Exactly.
So, let's go with Austin.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell me, where did you get the idea for the SanitaryPull?
So, it actually came from George. Him and I were driving to the beach one day, and I believe it was the beginning of May, so it was kind of right at the incline of the shutdown, and everything was starting to get a little bit uneasy.
You're talking like February, March?
No, I guess we were in the middle, right in the middle of the shutdown then, I guess.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of quarantine, and we decided to take a trip to the beach, and on the way down, we were just talking about it, and I think we went to a bathroom and used one of the doors, and after we came out, we were like, that was a pretty nasty bathroom. And we talked about how we had seen some of these apparatuses, used to open the door with your foot. And from then we were like, we should make our own. And from that moment on, we started moving forward with it.
Now, Jack, were you there when this occurred?
So I was not there for the initial thought.
Uh-huh.
It was around early May, and then the following week, I was lobbing an idea at Austin, and he called me back the following day, and it's like, hey, this is what George and I have been talking about. And so they brought me in, and I've been helping, I guess, logistically and doing things on my part, but them two were the ones who spurred the idea.
Now, were you guys friends, at college?
Yeah, so George and I grew up together in Bernie, and then I met Jack my freshman year of college, and we were in the same fraternity. So, we become friends over the past 3 years, and then kind of added on, I guess, George here when he came to A&M after our sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, where did you guys go to high school? So, George, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Bernie Champion.
And in Bernie? Where is it?
It's in Bernie Champion.
Okay. And
Same.
what about, same?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys, how long have you guys known each other?
Since middle school.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably
8th grade.
Yeah.
Was it just a coincidence that you guys went going to A&M, or were you friends enough to say, hey, I'm going to go to A&M if you go to A&M? You want to go to A&M? My mom says I can go to A&M.
He initially went to College Station, and then I went to Corpus Christi A&M, was there for a year, and then transferred over into A&M.
Okay. And are you guys, so what are you studying right now?
So my major is in renewable natural resources.
Okay, agriculture.
Yes.
I'm also in the College of Agriculture and rangeland ecology. This morning I actually opted out of it though.
Breaking news.
A little detour.
Literally this morning, I opted into business with a minor in economics and entrepreneurship. So
We'll get around to that in a minute.
Might as well.
And what about you, Jack?
And then I'm in the industrial distribution. It's, I guess, a more technical degree, but it has engineering and then also has a business background. And so you can kind of get a good, I guess, depth of both and have a true understanding of the technicality, but then also the business aspects.
What made you interested in that?
So I was torn between engineering and business, and then talked to a guy on campus. He made the pitch to me, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Went for it, and ever since then, it's been a great degree, and glad I did it, and it's taught me tons of great things. So that I've applied to this and plan to apply in the future. So it's done well.
So let's get back to the beach. We had the idea. We pulled in Jack here and said, all right, what can we do with this? Kind of pick up from there. I mean, there's that quintessential moment of like, yeah, that'd be cool. Oh well, and no, really, let's do this. And like, what are the things that went through your mind? Maybe some challenges, or like, well, where do we start is the question, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I can kind of break that down pretty well. I was actually just talking to you about this the other night. So George laid the idea on me, and I remember we were just talking about this, how there was probably like a 5 to 10 second, just stare pause, where it was like, how is that already not a thing? How are there not people opening the door with their feet? So it was a very surreal moment, because there was a legitimate 5 to 10 seconds of just like, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
So
like, is this really happening?
Right. And so after that, I mean, there was no question about it. It was, what are we going to do next? And
Did you Google search it?
Right. Yeah. Right away.
So
we
you're like
looking at, okay, obviously there's got to be a product. And so we started looking at everything, and that didn't discourage us at all, because we knew we could make a better one.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, kind of what our strategy was to, take as much time possible, to perfect it as best we can, and then go forward. But there was never a question, I don't think, in any of our minds whether we were gonna
there's already a couple of them already out there. It was a good thought, but you never crossed your mind to say otherwise.
Kind of what motivated us to keep going is that if you keep looking, they're not on every door, and until they are, then we'll have done our job.
Yeah. So have you seen, since you had this idea, like when you're shopping for cars and you go, I'm looking into the Nissan Altima, and then there's Altimas everywhere. I never noticed it until I started looking at cars. The same thing. Did you guys start noticing where you were going? I mean, it's COVID time, so I don't know if...
Right. No, exactly. So we talked to other people, and we're like, hey, we'll tell them what we're doing and ask if they've seen other devices like it, or they're like, no, but we see things. We see them, I guess we look every time we go into a building, and so maybe we see one out of 50 buildings that we go into, 100 buildings that we go into, but that clicks in our brain a lot more. So
confirmation, there's an open market.
And obviously the market's growing with COVID, and so we saw that as a huge opportunity, and we saw the competitors on the market and thought there's definitely a better way to do it. And
so you said there's a better way to do it. So the design that we'll show this on the screen once we edit this together. And so the design, what was it that did you use what you saw online as we could do that but make it better, or did you already have a preconceived idea?
So our idea was always kind of formed around the same mechanism we have now. Obviously it was shaped and trimmed, and we went through so many different things.
Lots of,
it was like, because George was working during the summer and we were both in classes, and so I was just going to Home Depot. We were both going to Home Depot.
I think the first prototype though was out of a gutter.
It was like a plastic gutter connector piece.
It was a gutter filter.
Yeah, it had a filter.
Gutter like at a home, like the water comes in and travels down. And that's kind of curved a little bit.
Well, and so we just started cutting at it, and then we're like, no, this has to be better. Start cutting out again, and just start bending it, doing everything we could, and we cut too much off, and we're like, yeah. And so it took a process, but how long would y'all say was the development?
Development was probably about like maybe 2-3 weeks
of constant just changing. We had several ideas, but then we started looking into the whole manufacturing process of that, and we said, all
right, so that's it. So you let's just kind of go. We came up with this design, and there was nothing else like it. It was unique,
right?
And which I'm going to ask you more about here in a minute. But so then you said, well, where are we going to get these made? That's the biggest thing. It's like 3D printers. Nowadays, you'd think that's before 3D printers, you'd go, well, how do I pay somebody to build this prototype and keep it under wraps and, and get the is it trademark patent pending? Or
It is. It is.
It is.
Very good. Utility patent?
No. So we actually, yes.
There's a design, a utility.
It's a design patent.
Design patent.
Yeah, it's a design patent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you said, where are we going to take this? So tell me what happened.
So from there, I kind of reached out to some family members to see, because I have family members that worked with car parts, and I was just seeing if they knew anybody that could make anything out of metal pretty much. And lucky for us, they were able to connect me with somebody, and right off the bat, since it was COVID times, we hopped on a Zoom call, and I showed him the little piece of plastic, and he started coming up with some ideas and drew something up on a computer, started sending it to me, and then sent us a 3D print. We started adjusting from there. And
so far, no costs. Or they do this for as a favor because as a friend of a friend type of thing?
This was just the beginning, so they weren't it was just kind of like them trying to get another client. And so they were just doing that out of favor.
Okay, so then the 3D printer produced this thing, and you're like, oh, this is it, guys.
Exactly.
What color was it?
It was red.
Was it red?
Bright red.
Bright red.
And of course, it wasn't durable like this. How did you decide what material you needed?
We just knew that it had to be something sturdier than plastic for sure, because we tried testing the plastic model and heard a crack, and we're like, we can't test this pretty well.
So but then for ultimate material, we started looking into, okay, where is this product going to be, inside, outside? If it's in restrooms, what are they going to be using to clean the restrooms? Is it going to tarnish the material? And so we ultimately went with a grade of an aluminum, and is super. No issues with durability. It ended up being a great choice, honestly.
Oh, definitely. T6, I believe, 6063 is the grade of aluminum.
The T63. It's a little better than the T61.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
They use it on spacecrafts and stuff like that.
Is that right?
Yeah. T6.
Interesting to know. Ooh, so it's space technologies. Aerospace technologies.
Yeah.
Well, listen, so this is a great story, and I can't wait to hear more about who's using the SanitaryPull, how much it costs, and what your goals are for this product. But I thought college was about parties, girls, and raising, I don't know, frankly, raising hell. Isn't that what you're supposed to do when you're in college?
That's what I hear.
Did you guys experience any of this juvenile testosterone and fun?
We've definitely had some time in college before we came.
Your parents aren't listening, so I'm sure they won't.
We've had some fun.
You had some fun?
Definitely, definitely.
So A&M, is that known as a party college?
Definitely not.
It's probably, I would not consider it it's fun, but it's not a party college.
Okay.
Comparatively to other colleges in the SEC, we're probably on the bottom of the totem pole for party schools.
Well, that's good.
I would agree,
because my nephew is going there right now. He's, I think, a freshman, and my brother and his wife. Shout out to the Barrett and the other Vi family, Stan and Beverly. It's not a party school after all, so he should be in good hands. Is it very Texan though? Isn't it kind of like it's Texan? You come here for agriculture. You want to learn how to grow some of that hay with the right kind of soil, or raise some pigs. You can do that there, or is that just a stereotype?
Definitely a big Aggie school. Von Miller, the linebacker for the Broncos, when he was at A&M, I think he left with a degree in chicken farming.
Yep, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. I wanted to hear chicken farming, baling hay, chicken wire, I think is good. Maybe how you can make the chicken. So yeah, there's a little bit of because UT is the rival, at least in football. But A&M, the band. Is supposed to be smoking as far as the
band's awesome.
Yeah,
at halftime it's
definitely
phenomenal.
We always win halftime. Maybe never the game, but
halftime will at least.
You blew away at halftime.
Right.
See, I was in the band, played the trumpet, and that was like, man, if you go to A&M, it'll be awesome. So you did get to experience, going to parties, and kind of experiencing. I didn't go to a university, so I kind of missed out on that. Would you say that you've seen people party too hard, and you've seen people who maybe need to party a little bit more?
Definitely.
You guys are smiling like, well, there's one guy here that actually needs to party a little bit more, and there's one guy here that's probably partying a little too much. No, I won't go there. So we're going to get back in a second. We're going to take a quick break, all right? And I want to come back and talk about some more things about the market,
okay,
and the application and the usage, all right? All right.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. So we talked earlier about how SanitaryPull was conceptualized and how fun college life was with you guys. Let's now talk about what you're doing right now to get business, or to get businesses interested in buying your product. You know, there's costs. What's the cost? By the way, what is the cost for the unit?
On our end,
the consumer.
The consumer. Okay, for retail, it's $29.99, and then we bracket it out from 1 to 30 units. What is it? 30
so $30.
$29.99.
If I wanted
30.
2 for my business or bathroom, men's, women's bathroom, or anything like that.
And then we have bulk discounts at different quantities that drop down based off percentages.
Okay.
Yeah, so 30 to 99 units is $25.50, and then 100 to 299 units is $23.99, and then above 300 will be case to case.
Right. You're probably looking at your website, which is at SanitaryPull.com.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. SanitaryPull.com.
The name, it's like, how did you come up with the name? Because you're like, we could call it Foot Pole.
And that was one of the names that we had thought about, and we actually played with the name game for a little bit. It was pretty interesting. It was
lots of different
names.
All right, so some of the ones, if you can remember, that got the red X line thrown through.
Foot pool was one of them for sure. Pool foot. Anything
healthy handle,
foot.
I think was one.
Healthy handle.
Yeah.
Healthy pool.
We started levitating towards the sanitary focus and wanting to, instead of doing just foot pool, focus on. It's for sanitation.
Yeah, what's relevant right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
COVID poll.
Right.
You're like, no, that's a little too obvious.
Exactly.
Just what if COVID goes
the
away?
longevity for that.
The way we saw with that was also that it's a product that even before COVID, I feel like people would have appreciated, especially because, bathroom doors have always been nasty for a long time.
That's interesting, actually, because we're all hyper-focused on germs right now. I'd never have been more focused on germs in my entire life. I wash my hands, I thought, relatively often, but now that little bug when you I should probably wash my hands, and then it becomes like a obsessive compulsive thing.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh my God, this COVID thing has really got me OCD'd out. So
scavenging for sanitizer, looking around.
Right. And the mask and all that. But before COVID hit, I wonder if there was, I don't know, that'd be interesting to find out, wouldn't it, to see were these types of products being sold or being created before COVID? And if so, I'm sure it wasn't a huge moneymaker for anybody doing it.
Based on the research that we've done, it really wasn't big at all. Our main competitors, they were doing it on the side kind of their main jobs, of their day-to-day jobs. And I'm not really sure what their sales were, but I bet they were minimal.
Relatively to now minimal. Yeah.
You're talking about like a competitor that maybe one of your main competitors?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
And so they were doing it before COVID.
I think they got their patent in 2013.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Huh. I wonder where that idea came from somebody who's like, germs, everybody hates germs, and
right. But the awareness for it in 2013 was
just not, yeah.
People like, nah. If you went to somebody's business and said, hey, would you be interested in putting this, I would think, nah, that's weird.
Right.
That's just weird. People are going to wonder what it is, and nah.
It's confusing. Yeah, exactly.
Right, where though now I feel like all businesses are looking for a way to reduce contact points, make it a safer environment for customers, reduce costs overall for cleaning surfaces 24/7 every 30 minutes.
Right.
It's just,
when COVID was happening, and it still is, but in the beginning of quarantine, I'd go into a gas station or a restaurant. I've never seen that many people wash their hands. I feel like some people usually don't, and it was very noticeable in the amount of people that were actually washing their hands and waiting to wash their hands rather than just leave the bathroom.
You're right. They'd sit there and go, that's good. I'm going to wipe it on their hands or whatever. But they're like, no, I'm next.
Right. And especially after doing this and doing research on, just what's on the handles and whatnot. And then, the percentage of people that don't wash their hands, you'll be washing your hands and you'll see several people walk by who don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, it happened to me yesterday. I was washing my hands and somebody walked right behind me and opened the door and left. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, why am I even washing my hands?
Yeah,
There's
you're
really
going to
no
go touch
point.
the dirty handle and then
Right, exactly.
turn around
So
and wash again?
I just wasted that water and I wasted that soap and I wasted my time.
And the bars and, bars are the worst.
Yeah.
No one washes their hands in a bar.
Because they're drunk and like, screw it. If I get sick, I get
So it's
sick.
like,
I can call in sick tomorrow. Blanket.
Exactly.
So you. I got so many questions. So I gotta. Okay. I want to get to what are you doing now to promote it, but I still want to know, like, you got it manufactured. What's the you don't want to put the cart before the horse. So you said we need to make we got the 3D print, and you go, now what? You go, we need to make these. What's going to cost? Where do I get these manufactured? Right.
Right. So from there, I think after we got the 3D print, we called, a family friend of ours who has a logistics company who, does exactly that, transports products from Mexico and back forth and so forth, and kind of started talking to him a little bit on costs, kind of wrapping the whole entire package together, what would come with it, how we would
Overall
package
weight,
it, what it would cost to ship, the overall weight of the package, figuring, units per box, all that
How
stuff.
many pallets that we can fit on a truck, and if we don't fill the truck, if we, there's just so many logistics.
That opened a whole bag of worms there. You're like, oh, geez, yeah. Then we got to think about the pallets, and then the driver, and then do they charge per weight?
There's
and
lots of variables.
Lots of variables, right?
Definitely.
So you got that and those numbers crunched, and you said, all right, this is what it's going to cost to get them made. This is how much it's going to cost to ship them to somebody. And then you decided, well, what do you want to make on this? Do you want this in, we want a high margin, medium margin, low margin? Probably. And then you went, oh, we're going to need some money. And you get like a small business loan, like a normal person who starts a business. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that process.
I'd say margin wise, we're pretty just about standard below average even, because you see products that have the same, you'll see pools that are ranging on Amazon for $80 a unit.
Really?
You're like, okay, that doesn't cost that much to make.
You guys are like, oh my God, they're charging way too much.
Right.
Exactly. Or we'll be somewhere and we'll see one and we're like, they bought that for.
And maybe they're going, well, we got to make money on this because nobody's buying them. They weren't thinking scalable. They maybe were thinking, oh, we want to triple, quadruple our money or something.
Right.
Exactly. No, we're thinking every single door possible in the entire globe. That's our mission. So margins weren't a huge
we want volume
worry for us.
You wanted volume.
We want volume. We want exposure. We want everywhere to have, we want everyone and everywhere to have the option to.
Was that a unanimous thing?
It's that, and also just like every time.
Guys, we're charging way too little. We really should be charging, like, what if it's $49? Somebody had to be that guy.
We discussed it.
Heated conversation.
Yeah. No, I think this. No, why?
Exactly.
Right.
This is the reason.
Right.
But we worked it out, or like just slowly negotiated where
Compromise. It's all about when you're partners. And at what point did you guys realize, oh my God, I think we're partners in a business now?
I think when we signed the company agreement, and like the legality of it, it was just like, okay, like
this is real.
This is actually
We stepped into another level of friendship here.
Yeah. Because you're not supposed to mix friendship and business because it's hard.
Right.
I've made mistakes that way.
It's hard, but it makes it that much more fun in the long run, I think.
It's a good balance. I think we're a really good group of friends and business partners that can separate the both of them. There are times where we critique each other, but I think it's all professional, and everyone knows that it's nothing personal. It's just for the better of the whole group.
Yeah, I think if you can learn to step outside yourself sometimes and go, look, both of the guys were trying to convince me, and I just knew I was right, but maybe you sleep on it, and you're like, hey, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Or do you want to be successful? Right?
Exactly.
That's been one of the most fun aspects, is kind of growing together, figuring it all out together.
And we're all very opinionated, so we all have beliefs as to what we want to do.
Instances where like all three of us would have the exact opposite opinion.
Those are skills you usually learn when you get married or you have a girlfriend or you gotta get married. You go, this whole compromise thing. I can't do what I want when I want and whenever I want it. All right, so every business has to have a name. You have to get a DBA. You're either incorporated or LLC. So because people are going to be paying you money, you got to pay taxes. What did you have a company name?
Yes.
So, I guess CBA, Innovative Solutions, is the name that we filed for.
That's an LLC.
George, what does that stand for?
Cooper Burt Arroyo. It's our last
names. CBA. It's got a little ring to it. CBA.
Sounds like a household name.
We've jumbled between, ABC, BCA, and, ACB, and CBA is definitely just rolls off the tongue.
Sure. How many quantities of these product units do you have in your possession now?
So we have about roughly about 3,000 on the way.
3,000 on the way. How many? Yeah, okay. And so then where do we put these things?
So that was also another hiccup that we kind of disagreed upon, but also
between the three of us, yeah.
So the first initial thought was, well, we'll just rent a storage unit.
That's what first thing that came to my mind. Yeah,
right, exactly.
$50 a month or whatever.
Right, and it's month to month. We can jump out whenever we need to.
However,
but luckily we found sort of a mixture of both, where it's a commercial warehouse and storage facility. So he does open contracts of month to month. Obviously, it's more expensive than a storage unit, but we needed more square footage.
He's really flexible, and
he's super nice.
He's got equipment there that we can use to unload pallets off of an 18-wheeler,
forklifts, and all that kind of stuff.
So we were pretty fortunate to find that.
You can ship from there, or no?
So
they'll handle the shipping and receiving.
So we wanted to keep, I guess, our personal, because we all have roommates. We wanted to keep our, personal life separate from work, so we didn't want to do it out of our garage and have all of our friends and roommates just barging in.
Yep, that makes sense. And so then becomes, you've got the storage of all these units, and then becomes like, do you sell it on Amazon? Do you sell it from your website? How are you selling it? We're going to get to how you get people to know about it here in a second, but let's get through this first.
So Amazon, as everyone knows, is pretty big. It's one of
I've heard of them.
Marketplace. Yeah,
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah. So we figured Amazon's a really good inlet to sell these things, but we also have our website, which we plan to push on a lot of people through various ways of marketing, and hopefully get them that way, but also in-person sales of us just meeting people and talking to people that we know.
Hitting the pavement. Yeah, just that door-to-door kind of thing.
Right.
So Amazon, I'm sure, takes a decent chunk of the profit, right? Did you look into saying if we did that, we might have to raise our fees?
So there's, I guess, just macro version. You can do several different ways when you're selling through Amazon. You can take a pallet and ship it to them, and then they handle everything. And so you just
fulfillment, shipping, everything.
Yes. Or you list the product on their website, and we do all the
it triggers the order. You handle the shipping,
everything else.
I see.
And so there's one or the other, and we're going to put in the sweat.
Right.
For right now, you've decided to say, let's not go Amazon. We know Amazon will always be there.
Yes. Right.
But now let's go with the website.
Well, no. So we're still doing Amazon.
Okay.
So you'll find our product on Amazon.
Oh, but
we're able to get sales through Amazon, and then that's just sent to us, and we handle all the shipping and receiving ourselves. Yes, fulfillment.
So eventually, when we get to the point where we don't have the capability of doing that with just the three of us, we'll jump to what's called FBA, fulfillment by Amazon.
Okay.
And we'll try to find that perfect equilibrium between what we can ship and then what they can ship, so that we can keep our profits as optimal as possible. But we don't want them to just completely take over the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They will at some point, for us to catch a breather.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find that equilibrium.
No matter what, we are always going to be doing at least bulk orders, and even in the future, at least we'll always be fulfilling orders ourselves.
So you guys aren't physically going, all right, here's another one. This one's going to JF Industries in Toledo, you are doing this. You guys are literally going to be warehouse guys.
That's the part of the perk of having three of us, because
like for every device, there's 2 screws that come with it, and we figured out real fast that bagging a couple thousand screws.
Oh, you guys manually bag those screws?
6,000 screws.
6,000 screws.
Do you guys have did we bring one in here?
Yeah, there's one right over there in that bag.
I'll grab it.
I know.
So, yeah, it's in that
the red
bag right over there.
The red contractor bag.
Yeah. We should have had that before. My bad.
No, I
want to look at it.
Yeah, we can just pop it open right now. There might be.
I was thinking we should have had a few up on those.
Yeah, just for display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? You're chomping at the. You really want to show me this? I can tell. Oh, get back, man. This is mine. This is mine.
He bought it.
It's mine. I'm gonna take it out of the bag. But this is a plastic bag that you guys put these in, right? Mm-hmm. And you got that, and along that with that comes a sticker, right? That says SanitaryPull. Use your foot. So a lot of people would see that and go, "What the heck's this?" I see. You use your foot. Hey, honey, come here. Look at this thing over here. You can use your foot. Exactly. Right? And then you got your instructions to install, right? This is awesome. Just like, this is the point. If it were me, I'd be like, man, I bought so much crap online and it comes with this stuff. And now we got our own little thing and it's printed out. And now these are the screws that you're talking about, right?
The screws.
Yeah. So these are the things that you use to install.
Right.
And so I guess
there you go.
You guys really had to kind of figure out a lot of the door sizes. Mm-hmm. So looks like they have these little inset deals. So you would just put that in there like that.
So sourcing those bolts was kind of an issue because we had to have a certain range for the different sizes of doors. So that was fun.
Right.
Yeah, finding that.
Yeah, finding it, calling dozens of people, suppliers around and say, hey, do you have, can you,
I'm sure you all figured out. Did you know, like, useless information people don't really know that they care about? You know that 95% of all doors made in the USA are approximately 2 inches or whatever.
I think they're like 1 3/4 inches. This is the average commercial door.
Mm-hmm. But you have to have the deviation. The
1.5 inches to 1 3/4.
Just in case, right? If one is a little bit skinnier, one's a little bit thicker, you have to have that range, and that's why we went with.
So if this were being installed onto wrong way, right?
Yep.
So here's the door. Put it in there like that. It goes in there. Now somebody uses their foot and opens the door. So you guys had to bag all these.
Yes.
And these
it's
little,
like, okay.
The screws were
these little bags.
It was a little bit therapeutic.
I was going to say, we're at 975. We only have 2,000 to go.
Exactly. It always felt real, but when we were bagging them, we're actually doing the work now.
Yeah.
Like we're actually.
That's what they call sweat equity, right?
Exactly.
It's like you're doing it. It means more when even the first sale. You've had the first sale, but online from a stranger.
No, it's from cold pitch.
Cold pitch. And telling them what we were doing. He's like, "Oh, I'll take a few of those. Yes, okay. Sign me up. Bill me right now."
We're gonna come around to that. So I get it now. I get the fulfillment. I get the shipping. Y'all are really going to be tackling. You're going to be warehouse guys for a while. I think that's also very neat to do. I don't know if a lot of people would do that.
You have to learn all aspects. I mean,
just in the sense of, y'all are millennials, and that word, I'm sure you're like, I hate it when people call us that, right?
Right.
You do, yeah, because it somehow has brought on a negative connotation. But I would say if there was a stereotype, I think maybe a millennial might go, we're going to have people to do that. But you guys are like, no, we really need to know this product. We need to understand it inside and out. So from bagging to ordering, getting the loan, to shipping it out, and you're doing that. So how do people know about this?
So
what are you doing to raise your flag and go, we're open for business?
So the website basically is probably going to be the main engine.
Okay, so you hired somebody to do the website,
right? So a friend of my dad's, Dave Gray,
the Gray Agency.
The Gray Agency decided to come in with us, join our team. Very thankful for that.
Right, he's killed it on website side. If it wasn't for him, we've talked about this before. It's like
dead in the water.
Yeah,
it would just been an idea, maybe.
Exactly.
Well, it's the actual website aspect. None of us were, skilled in that department,
right?
And so
that's your flag. That's what you're like. Okay, now we have an actual URL. It's worldwide.
Exactly. We knew we didn't want to go with a Wix website or something like that, because you can tell those apart. We knew we needed something that was actually going to be able to handle the amount of traffic that we're looking to get, and something that looks a lot more professional.
and you decided that, well, we're going to have a merchant account so that people can actually put their credit card in from the site. So you had security things to
open
deal
their
with.
bank account and everything.
There's a lot more that went into it than I guess any of us knew, and so it's kind of like every day it's like, what's next?
Exactly.
Every day still is kind of a learning. Every day we're learning something new, which is really fun.
Knowing
really
that you have to deal with the unknown.
Right. It's like, all right, what's going to pop up tomorrow?
Yeah,
So-
guys, you won't believe this. But apparently, you have to have some sort of secure language so that nobody can hack into your site, and we got that now.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Right.
Like, or he would ask us, like, do you guys have, I don't know, this? And we'd be like, what's that?
Let's figure that one
And
out.
we'd have to figure it out.
Well, and Dave,
We'll get it
who's a
to
friend
you.
of mine too, and you guys are roughly the age of our own kids. So we kind of have that, we kind of feel like, I can see Dave going, these are like my kids. So, hey, let me show you some things, and asking you the right questions and making you think about it. That's exciting. That is right there. I think the heart and soul of an entrepreneur is just going, I'm learning, and it's challenging, but I'm learning, and all that is first-hand learning. And it's not a textbook. It is literally, all right, we're doing this now.
Right.
And once you get to the very end of all this and things are cruising, you'll now go, I've got a formula that I can reproduce this in whatever verticals you want.
Right. Now that we know how to do it.
And honestly, we've been very fortunate to have the people that we have around us on the marketing side, on the website, and the manufacturer. Everyone that's been around us has
Attorneys,
helped
everyone.
us. Everyone has helped us in so many ways, and they understand that we're new to this and that we're learning, so they've been very, very good about cooperating.
We're very lucky.
Have you found that that's was surprising to you, or the willingness? Because a lot of times that ain't the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's just every day. It's not taking no for an answer.
I think it's us showing, and it's also showing interest in kind of what we're passionate about doing. Turns people on, and it makes them more engaged into, I guess, wanting to help us out. And so that's part of the reason why it's
That, and also I feel like it's the consistency. Like, it's not like we send out an email and ask a question and they're like, oh, thank you. It's like we send that email, they respond, and the next day it's like, well, what about this? So it's like we're showing interest in that we're actually trying to do this. So us showing them that, well, they're going to be like, okay, these kids actually want to do this, so we're actually going to move forward with it.
True.
Right.
That is very true. You basically, these people that have helped you have kind of thrown out a little line and say, let's see if they take it. And if they don't take it, that's cool. I didn't waste much time. But if they're going, hey, I got a question. Hey, what about this? And you're like, all right, we got a winner. We got a live one here. And that does help. That brings out I think humans in general like to help each other, right? Definitely. And then you're like, hey, I can help these kids. Right. You're not kids. You're young men, so apologize for that. So you got the website up. Now, how do you get people to go, there's a website over here, buy?
Everyone check it out. No.
Marketing, right?
Marketing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Optimization, very intricate targeting for
I was going to say targeting, figure out the right people.
We've created some videos with a great video production team, and they've helped us, just make a teaser trailer that we can show to people. And right now we're actually here in Dallas to shoot a few more videos for the website. That way we can also push them in the social media outlets and any way that we can actually get it out there.
So you have a video now online. They can see it on your website. So check out the website. You'll see a cute little animated video that really kind of brings it full circle. Like, I get it. How many door handles do we touch each day? It's a lot. What if there was a way to open doors without using your hands? What if your foot could lend a helping hand? Introducing SanitaryPull. Simply install the SanitaryPull to your doors and reduce the touch points in your place of business. Your customers will appreciate it, and your staff will too. Help reduce the spread of germs by using SanitaryPull.
Right, so we obviously worked with the Gray Agency, and then there's also a business called Vidzactly, who played, an integral part in producing the graphics and videos that we have, and kind of with them two working together, we're able to mesh everything.
Kind of form a team.
Right, all hours, whenever we want, we can always message anyone, and it's
Right.
Pretty instant.
I've loved how hands-on that both VidZachly and the Gray Agency has let us be. We've almost formed a complete team. It's every day we're in constant communication. We don't like this. We love this. Tweak this, tweak that.
How do you guys communicate?
Through Slack.
We use Slack.
Slack. I think that was called something else before that I used to use back in the day called HipChat. And it was owned by a company called Assassin or something like that. And then they merged into Slack. So Slack is like an instant message app.
Yeah, it's like a group message kind of deal. And just to interact with a lot of people.
Have you used it before?
Not before
First time?
this.
Oh, cool.
First time.
Yeah,
So like he introduced you, the Gray Agency introduced you, like, hey, here's how we're going to communicate.
Right.
And you're like, all right, download the app on your phone. And do you have it also on your computer?
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
Now we're on Slack like every day.
Right.
All day,
It's-
pretty
yeah.
much.
It's a really neat tool.
That's the first thing I pull up on my laptop every morning.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And once you get an account, and I'm sure you guys, once you get in business with other companies, it's a really neat. You can transfer files and stuff. I'm doing a commercial for Slack, by golly.
Exactly.
VidZachly. Is it good?
Exactly.
You're in town from College Station. You just drove in when?
So we got here yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday, early in the morning.
All right. And you're going to shoot some videos.
Correct.
Okay. What kind of videos are you shooting?
So we're going to do, I guess, first off, we're going to do like an implementation or installing video, and just kind of
How to install it.
display
instructional
how
kind of
easy, how easy it is to install it, and then what the full process is between all the steps, and then.
So where are you installing these products at?
So there's various restaurants that we just mention it to, and they're like, yeah, no, for sure, that's what we've been
Get
doing.
on the Google
Not
Map.
limited to restaurants.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So what are the places of businesses that are likely to need one of these?
All of them.
So
Old folks home?
yes,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But yeah.
I mean,
So
restaurants, schools,
Hotels,
healthcare,
hospitals,
healthcare facilities, urgent cares as well. I think urgent cares will be big. Colleges, universities, retail stores.
right, you drive down big strip centers, and you're like, every single one of these could use our product right now.
I mean, the main, initial thought was convenience stores, just because usually the bathrooms there are just disgusting.
7-Eleven, Quick Mart,
high traffic,
yeah,
large human footprint there. So, I mean, really, like that was where the idea originated, was convenience stores.
Convenience stores, and then also a lot of these that we've seen have been in bathrooms, and we always thought, well, like, yeah, bathrooms are nasty and important, but really the first point.
Did you say bathrooms are nasty and important?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They're vital to.
That's a cut.
I love. We're leaving that in because it's true. Bathrooms are nasty unless they're really high society bathrooms, right? You get what you pay for. But most bathrooms, you kind of go in there going, okay, let me just get in and get out, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And they are important because we all have to use
They're
them.
all important, but what I meant by that is that a lot of people have the perception that there's lots of germs there, and there are. But if in a building, if someone walks into the front door, everybody that's in that building is touching that front door.
And no one's washed their hands before that.
Exactly. And maybe not everyone goes to the bathroom, but I guarantee that everybody's grabbing that same door.
Interesting. Yeah.
And everyone's got dirty hands because no one washes their hands and then walks into a building.
Right.
And so
you go into the bathroom with unwashed hands.
Right. And so.
And then you do your business, and then you just gotta wash your hands.
Exactly.
But before you're pulling the door to get in there.
Right.
And
And then you're sitting down and eating your cheeseburger with your
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Everyone appreciates the product. Everyone sees it, and they see what it's supposed to do and what the meaning behind it is, and it's honestly very easy to get people on board.
Yeah,
It's
especially
not
when you
super complex.
No.
Did you cold call? Did you show up without them knowing, or did you call them ahead of time, or
straight cold call.
you're like,
and it's like you'll mention it to
hi.
them.
Hi, can I speak to the manager?
I've got something that you can't live without. It's the Vacuum XL 2400 Pro. No, but that's what you think of door-to-door
right.
salesman, right?
Initially, people think we're, we're the Karen, though, because we walk in and we go, can I speak to the manager? And so initially, that's not an extremely inviting
Karen.
Somebody had a bad
question.
experience
Right,
here.
exactly.
So, but you did that, and you said, hey, could we
Right.
speak to the manager? The manager comes out, keep going.
Right. And so like today we had mentioned it, and he's like, oh, well, this would be perfect for my servers walking outside with a tray in their hand and hands full. You just use their foot. That would solve all of our issues right now. I was looking into getting an automated door, but that's going to cost me over $1,000. So yeah, let me have one of those. I'm like,
right then, you really did. You went there because you wanted to see if they could, you could use their business to
film that.
To film.
Exactly.
Right. And right there, the guy's like, I'll take 3.
Right. He's like, build me up. I got him right now. So
unintentional sale.
Right. It was an unintentional sell, and he got very excited. And I was like, all right, let's
guys,
do it.
this is pretty easy. Right?
Very.
I went to Vegas one time. First time I went to Vegas with my wife when we were younger. And they must have had the cameras on us. And, you know, we went upstairs, put our clothes away. Or no, I think we still had our luggage with us. And before we go up to our room, we got to play the slots. And this is back when you put the coins in there and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we put a dollar coin into the slot, pressed the button. I think I did that. Pulled it down. Boom. $50. Now, and you hear, tick, 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 and it's like, oh, the adrenaline's going. And my wife's going, what? So she took one of the coins, put it into the machine right next to that one, pulled the handle. She wins $50. We look at each other and go, this is easy. I mean, this gambling thing is pretty easy. Well, she was the smart one. And she said, let's put this $100 away in case if we spend all of our money on this trip, we'll at least have this $100. Guess what we came back with? Just that $100. Of course. So yeah, but you guys got in there, and your first response was, "I'll take one." And did you go to any more?
Right. So, and then we went to another place, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this would actually, I mean, say kind of the same thing from before."
Are these restaurants you went to? Because
restaurants, coffee shops, hotels,
and but yeah, great feedback. And goes, no, yeah, this is what we've been looking for. Let me give this to our owner. He makes all the calls, and I'll give you a call back. And then I'm like, perfect, cool, thank you. And then George went into one, and right away. So it's been our success.
This is easy,
right? Yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking walking up.
I was gonna say, were you all nervous a little bit? Like,
absolutely. I think we were playing the little nose goes, and
you do it this time.
Exactly.
Like rock paper scissors. All right.
Exactly.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But did you each get a chance? You went to 3?
Yes.
Did you divide it, or who was the one who didn't?
They covered the 3 here.
Okay.
And Jack and I covered 3 in College Station.
So part of being a student and an entrepreneur is that we still have school. So Austin had to work on some school while we were.
Right. I was in class while they were doing the cold wedges.
Which is the best part of having 3 people, though.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Right.
It's like I'll be swamped. Like earlier this week, I was totally swamped up with school, and I could rely on them to do what
pick up the slack.
Right.
Exactly. That is good. And 3 is a great number too, because you got a democracy. It's like
exactly
2 vote you out type of thing, which is great.
Right. And it works in so many ways. Like if 2 people have a bad idea, and then it's the one person that like makes you see how bad of an idea is. So it gives you another opinion, and you're like, oh wait, like I didn't think about it that way. So you start thinking things differently, and
everybody has kind of a difference. You want diversity and skills.
It works.
You want somebody who's the pragmatic and technically, and you want one that's the big picture guy, creative, and you want somebody who can I'll talk to him. Who's got the sales kind of. Those are the 3 main components.
Exactly.
So you got 3 lined up now. Since we are broadcasting from VentureX Studios here in Frisco, Texas, as you can see on our logo, you're going to be installing also the SanitaryPull into the men's and women's restrooms in this building, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
Tonight.
Yes, sir.
Tonight.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be filming that as well.
Yes.
And for the installation video, and then what else? You got something lined up for tomorrow?
So we want to interview some of the business owners and think about and ask them questions as to why they think it would help their business, and also make it better for their customers to use this product.
How important, we talk about websites, we know social media in general. How important do you think video is in 2020 now, when you're starting a business like yours, and you really want to show and tell? How important is video in your opinion? I'm curious, as you guys are future.
I think it's crucial, because anyone can write text down, but until you actually have a manager or a business owner speaking about a product, there's not much depth to just text, in my opinion. And
and there's nothing easier than like playing the video and be like, this is it.
This is,
it says it all right there.
It is.
And if you refer back to the QR codes now on restaurant tables, there's no more menus right now.
True.
And so everybody's kind of
evolving
to adapt to that.
Right. And you guys watch YouTubers when you're
I love YouTube. Yeah, I'm a big YouTube
podcast. Do you watch podcasts or
I watch podcasts.
Watch or listen? Is it video podcast or audio?
I think both. It depends if I'm driving or not.
Yeah, I'm a big audio podcast whenever I'm driving.
But like from iTunes, like who's your podcast directory platform?
I go through Spotify
And podcast through Apple.
On Apple
iTunes, then you can just subscribe to it, and boom, anytime there's a new episode, boom, you get it. But when you're driving, because back in the day when I was doing podcasting, before video podcasting was really a deal, the whole draw was that they subscribe to you once, and boom, they're going to get you until they tell you not to, which is a great kind of Trojan horse thing, right? Do y'all exercise? Do y'all have a fitness program at all?
I do, yeah. I run usually 4 to 5 miles a day, do a lot of cardio.
Do you listen to podcasts while you run, or do you listen to music?
Mostly music.
Music, yeah. Mm-hmm. But why do you listen to podcasts? Is it for entertainment? Is it to learn? Is it self-help?
I think it's just, gaining information and
knowledge.
Right.
So as a tool to learn.
I like to listen to two kinds, and it's something educational, whether it be science or business or anything. But then I also like to listen to some humor sometimes,
comedy,
or maybe some sports in there as well. I don't know, kind of just how I'm feeling, but most of the time it's to gain some information about something I don't know.
Something else.
Yeah, something you're kind of curious in. You listen and it's like, oh,
cool.
You kind of go down a rabbit hole. All
right. Producer says we got to take a break. We're going to be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. So, guys, what is up with the design? You looked at the competition. You mentioned what's the unique thing about your product that is not out there in the marketplace?
So there's products very similar. Well, I wouldn't say very. There's products that are somewhat similar to our product, and that was kind of the whole basis of how we designed it, how we created it. Was we kind of just found the flaws in the products that we didn't like, and then we found the positive aspects of the products that we did, kind of combined all that together, and then that's what was spit out, honestly, put it most casually.
Right.
There's a couple products, I think they're called like the germ kick or something like that, foot pull or something, and they're basically, it's similar, but it's a complete rounded sphere, like a cage almost, so you can't get your foot out on either side.
Once your foot's in there, it's trapped.
Right. It might get stuck.
So there's a possibility of it getting stuck, and it's also completely flush and flat against the door.
Okay.
So
it's about that big.
Right. It's I think it's like 8 by 10.
Good Lord.
It is
quite a commitment.
It's like, that's not practical.
And so what that, you probably
like twice the price of ours. So
really,
$80. Yeah. So
more than twice.
More than twice. So what that triangle kind of step on the bottom, that's
I was like, is that a design thing or is that a practicality thing?
Right. So that's for leverage and for balance. So when if you kind of compare it to driving a car barefoot, you don't have that balance with the bottom of your foot. You kind of lose. It's a way harder.
Yeah, your heel kind of rests on the floorboard.
Exactly. So that's just for the leverage and balance, for older people that are using it, if they try.
So their foot goes in there. They have something to kind of leverage their, a little leverage thing.
And you can push off of this. So if it's up against the door, like so, you can push and then pull against this.
I got it.
You see what I mean? Instead of balancing and then trying to pull. You're able to get leverage and then
that's actually pretty smart.
And so when you come in at an angle, it's
if you saw it flush and flat, you kind of feel there's a little mind thing
where
you're like, oh, how am I going to get? But this kind of gives you that impression like, oh, almost like in an airplane, like when you're in an airplane, they got these little things you go, oh, I can rest my foot here. It gives you that confirmation.
Exactly.
Right.
That's clever.
So that's just as comfortable as possible. And we also had to round off our original 3D print was it was a little bit.
It was a little lip.
It was just not a rounded off edge. It was a squared off edge, so it kind of had that sharp
edge
right there. So that could have caused a problem with.
Yeah, because that's really smooth.
Right.
So that was a factor that you considered.
That was something that we took into consideration. That was pretty big. It was to not damage or scratch any shoes, so we made it as soft and rounded as possible.
Now those ones that are out there are ones where you step down on and pull, right?
The exact opposite mechanism.
And this is where you pull that way.
Right,
so what's the problem with people putting their foot down and pulling out?
So we saw that naturally, if a door's closing, and many people have done this, that you reach your foot, to catch that door, and you're always hooking your foot up to kick it without even thinking about it. You're just gonna hook your foot up and move and swing it that way, rather than step on it and kick it. And you have more strength in your quadricep than you do in your hamstring.
Right.
But I almost think also, though, I feel like my son, whose shoes are worn, like the tread.
Right.
You don't have. If you step on it, it might slip.
Exactly.
Right. If it's a heavier door and you have let's just say Vans on, or something with a totally flat bottom,
right.
You're gonna slip. You're gonna slip right off of it.
Yeah.
If this is the flat device.
And I guess they have. I've seen. I forgot where I was at, but I saw one. I'm like, oh, look at this. But they had the little teeth, little jagged teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I think is that to help give you that if you had Vans on that you could grip it. But then I would be wondering, is that going to jack up my bottom of my shoe?
Right.
I don't know.
It's designed to help with the traction, but I think in reality, I don't know. It helps, but I don't think it makes it all that much. Gives you all the traction in the world.
It's just a bit unnatural. That's all.
Unnatural, and like we said, many people that have seen these products and have seen ours have mentioned that we've seen the other ones and they're actually a lot harder to use. Whether is this one, it's pretty, you're gonna have a lot more leverage to pull a heavy. If we were to have a very distinct comparison between both of them, you could probably pull a lot more weight with ours than you would with theirs.
There's a sturdy factor too. I don't know. I have not. I just saw it wherever I was at. I think I went to the restroom. But one of the things, if I were looking to get one, is the durability, is it how it mounts? Is it gonna over time? Everybody's using this. Is it gonna get wobbly? Is it gonna ruin my door? All those things. And then are my customers gonna hey, I brought in a $300 pair of shoes in here, and your thing ruined my shoes, and there's liability, right?
Of course.
And also if you're wearing sandals, those are things to consider. That can you do that wearing sandals, or nobody's walking around barefoot anymore? But
we tried it barefoot.
Did you?
Yeah. One of the first times that we tried it with just our bare feet.
And to touch on, I guess, just durability. George, you were somewhere the other day with one that had screws coming out for competitor.
Yeah, there was a competitor that I was already missing some screws, and that's because they use different bolts than we do, and those are just regular bolts that just go through one side of the door as to where
they're using self-tapping.
Exactly.
To where self-tapping, no good.
Ordinary wood self-tapping screws.
And if you have a hollow aluminum door, that's not gonna. You only have a little bit of traction right here, but then it's hollow. So what's the rest of the screw doing? It's not offering the optimal grip, or it's not going to keep.
That's a good point. Because some doors are solid, some doors are look solid, but they have a hollow innard.
Right.
Sometimes there's metal doors. Have you guys thought about how does that different methods for installing in a metal door?
So it's a same process as installing it, but for metal doors, the reason why we use these barrel bolts is because it screws in on both sides. And so with a self-tapping screw, like what George was saying, he had the self-tapping screw all wobbly because it's a hollow door. But these barrel bolts come in on both sides and screw in together, and clamp it to the door. And so it will not come off the door.
Wow.
That's exactly what they're built for.
Yeah.
Barrel bolts are very sturdy. That's we decided. We also had a bunch of discussions on what we would do with that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we wanted the longest lasting, the most durable, and
right. When this is on your door, it's not
and
going
it's very
anywhere.
simple. It's just one thing. It's not overly complicated. I really impressed with the design. So my hat's off on the design. I'm a big, like, making it simple, make it really simple, bold, elegant. Those are my key words.
Well, and then just one other thing is earlier we were talking about the type that you put your foot in, but then it's trapped.
Right.
On ours, it's fully open on the edges. And
right.
So what we were saying is when you kick the door open like this, your foot can then slide out the edge.
So yeah, you put your foot in, you can go either way. You're not, and your foot's not claustrophobic.
And it also offers people to use it however they see that they can, because everybody's going to use it a tad bit different.
Right.
Not everybody's going to use it the exact same way. So it offers freedom to, use it however you see.
They could slide their foot in, then pull, or they might go under.
Exactly.
You gotta name the techniques. You got the under, you got the slide to the left, you got the slide to the right, and that's pretty. I crack myself up sometimes. I'm funnier than most people that aren't funny. All right, so the design is good, and you're gonna install this tonight at the Venture X restrooms, right? And what kind of door?
So it's gonna be a wooden door with a kick plate.
And you basically will you got a drill, right? So the different you drill a hole through a metal and wood door.
Right. So you just use a 5/16 drill bit.
5/16 drill bit.
And then you align the product to the door and level it.
Level it and align.
And then
do that first.
Yeah. So level and align.
Level and align.
Level align. And then you mark your holes.
Yeah.
And then you take that 5/16 drill bit.
Yep.
Drill it through.
Right.
Stick your bolts in, they clamp together, and then it's on.
And you're done. And I guess this is what, a Phillips or a flat.
It's universal.
Standard. So there you go. Look at that.
Quick and easy 3-step process.
You guys really thought about everything on this thing.
And that's kind of where I'm most thankful is we took the time, because we could have very easily gone with the product. Just, we've seen a bunch of copycats.
So many copycats.
Just in the last, 2 months.
Copycats of your?
No, of
just
what's out
the whole
there.
football.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll see the exact same product, just a tad bit, an inch longer, or bigger teeth, or
or made of it like super thin aluminum. So it's like, okay, you step on it and it bends.
Right, exactly. So we sacrificed the time to try to make it literally as perfect as we can. And then I think that was also by default because we couldn't let each other go forward with the product that wasn't, the best that we could do.
And you didn't want to compete against that style of device.
No.
You was like, yours is like almost a whole nother breed.
Exactly.
So do you anticipate some copycatters of yours?
Most definitely.
Probably.
Yeah.
This thing is a freaking rock. I mean, if you listen to this thing, it ain't going nowhere.
No.
This thing is literally, you could use it you could literally defend your life with this thing.
I have a couple times.
It's that T6 space material.
That's right. It's space age technology there for you.
Yes,
so is there different colors or what?
We plan on making them in black and silver right now. And then we'll move into color options later.
Okay. Well, through all of this, what you guys have been doing this, since the middle of COVID. It's not been that long, but what do you think you'd say you enjoy most about this?
About the product itself?
And the whole journey.
The whole process? I guess what I've enjoyed most is just the learning experience. Walking into a situation where you have no experience, no prior knowledge, and that's the best you can do, and you have to work with it. And that's been the most fun part, going into meetings with people twice our age, or then we have no idea what to expect. We don't know how to present ourselves correctly, or we don't think that we do.
Right.
And then just I've loved and I've almost grown addicted to the experience in itself of just learning everything, being completely almost just naked, walking into every situation. Because obviously we're young, we look young.
Right, but you got to adapt.
Exactly. And so in that, in all of that, just definitely learning. Learning has been the most fun part for me.
I enjoy seeing how everything keeps evolving. I remember when we started, we had 2 white tables, the white foldable tables, and that was our workstation, and a gutter piece. And now we have, then we went to the 3D piece, and then when we came to College Station, we got the warehouse, and that first warehouse was, again, just 2 tables, and then now we have a printer, we have a computer, everything keeps growing, and every time you keep walking into that warehouse, you keep seeing more and more things, more in boxes, more things that you didn't have before, and it's really starting to see what it's going to be later down the road.
Yeah, very well said.
Right. I mean, just to touch on that, it's, I guess, a learning process for me. Mm-hmm. Every day, it's like, all right, what are we doing today? Mm-hmm. And so it's the excitement of waking up and saying, all right, today we got to do this, but it's like, how do you do that?
Do you guys think that, you kind of had you didn't, like, when you were in 7th and 8th grade, dream that you were going to be doing this? This kind of fell in your lap somehow by osmosis or whatever. Right. Do you think that you're going to pursue this? How many of you have decided, I was going to do this, I was studying to do this, but I think I might do this? Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty, so what I'm studying is pretty applicable to, I guess,
the engineering aspect of it. You kind of, but you guys, the agriculture guys.
Yeah, well, my plan was to be in law school next year, but I've already set that, I haven't completely discarded it. Mm-hmm. I still want to pursue a law degree, but if anything, I want to do it to help this.
Yeah, I just think about that. Exactly. Having a legal perspective, you bring more to the business, right?
I like working for myself, and I think we would all agree that, like, we have that freedom to do whatever we want.
Did you think that you were when you're going to college, y'all think, okay, I'll get a job somewhere. Somebody's going to hire me. I'm going to get a salary. I'm going to have benefits, and the whole bit.
Right. I think we've all kind of, from what I understand, we've all kind of had a mindset that we have to do something. Yeah,
something. What do you mean? Let's do something.
Before this was even a thought, there's always
your own business type of something, opposed to working for a corporation of some sort.
Exactly.
Sophomore year, I think Jack and I were probably a day away from
really close from launching something.
We were about to launch our own idea as well. So it's all, and I think, since we first met each other, at least, it's what are we going to do and when are we going to do it?
Right. We're always bouncing stuff off of each other.
Right. We got to wrap it up. I could talk to you guys for a long time. I'm an entrepreneur. I can sense the spirit, and it's in your blood or not, and you guys definitely have it. Is there anything that I have not asked you that you want to bring up right now?
No, I can't.
I think we
did. Yeah, George.
Like we were saying, if anything, like, the mentality has switched from, being a student and trying to get a job to, like, now we're these entrepreneurs who, rather than look forward to the weekend, like, honestly, now the weekend is probably my least favorite time, and I look forward to Mondays because that's when things get going again. And on Friday at 5, when business hours close, I get pretty upset because, like, man, I wish we could have done more this week, and now I have to wait till Monday. So if anything, it's that.
When work can be fun. The whole concept of, you have to go to work, and then when you're off work, you look forward to doing other things.
Exactly.
But when you love what you do,
right,
you just want to keep doing it.
You just want to keep doing that and only that.
You look at starting a business as this big feat, but if you break it down into certain aspects and say, okay, this week I'll do this, and just break it down, it's not,
it's one day at a time.
Right, one day at a time. It's all steps.
Nike says it best, and it's just do it.
Just do it.
At the end of the week, don't be. I was never satisfied with our work. To an extent I was, but I don't think we were ever happy with the progress we made.
You can always
do more.
Exactly.
Always do more.
Exactly.
Now, just a little bit of wisdom. I'm that way too, okay? It can get so overwhelming that your friends or your spouse might go, sometimes you just need to stop and smell the roses, because it's like a muscle. You do wear out or become obsessed or become crazy because you're like, and that there is a moment over time. Now I think is the time to be all in, right?
Definitely.
But there will be a time that I think you will need to learn, all right, I got to compartmentalize this. Work's work, home's home. And if you find a hobby, hobbies are fun too. So just keep that in perspective. I admire the work. Things can always be better. It's a mentality that you have, and know that is good, but also know when to shut it off.
Right.
Because it can get a hold of you.
Right.
They can. But that's the thing. If you're single and you don't have anybody that you have to share your life with, and you love what you're doing, just keep doing it. So we got to go. Thanks for stopping by.
Of course.
Thanks for having us on.
Really
it's been great.
I had a really good time
sharing your product, the SanitaryPull. I wish you guys the best of luck. Let's keep everybody posted. One thing, if anybody would like to reach out to you guys.
Right. I mean, I'd say just on any one of our social media platforms,
We'll post it on the screen below.
Direct message SanitaryPull.
Right, or just
more than happy to offer a response.
Yeah, exactly. We'll respond
and if they were interested in buying a bunch of these things, they can go to your website.
Exactly.
www.sanitarypull.com.
Rock and roll. All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you all in the next episode.
Thank you.